And this story right here is fascinating. Records show that Pope Leo also has black family roots in New Orleans. ABC News uncovered U.S. Census records from the early 1900s that shows the first American pope's family tree. Both of his maternal grandparents identified themselves as black or mulatto in several census documents. His two aunts also identified as black. On their marriage license, his grandfather listed his birthplace as Haiti. However, his birth records show he was born in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. The birth records of the Pope's grandmother show she was born in New Orleans. However, in 1920, after the family migrated to Chicago, they marked down their race as white. It appears like so many families fleeing the South at that time, they shifted their racial identity. So many people talking about this online. I mean, it's just fascinating to see his lineage.
Absolutely, and very interesting in terms of his role as, a bridge builder between cultures. I think that's to me, that's the takeaway here, where he has this history, his family, and he is now in this position, a worldwide position where he's there and can kind of bridge cultural gaps in so many different ways.
Yeah, and just in talking to many black Catholics in the Chicago area, this is a story that certainly resonates with them. So we'll be sure to stay on top of it. Absolutely. With this new revelation here.
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and I saw this story first on the brother's page, Friends of the Prophets, and he was bringing this out, and I thought it was a good lesson-worthy piece. And so there's a new pope within the Vatican, and they're saying he has quote-unquote so-called black roots or black blood in him. We know that nobody's really black and nobody's really white. We all go back to a biblical nationality. And that biblical nationality is traced through your father's side, not maternally like the small hatters say. It all goes through the father's side. You could go to Numbers 1 and 18 to see that. And it's not too hard to understand that the man carries the seed. That's where you get the word husband from, which comes from husbandman, which is a seed sower. And the man sows his seed into the land, in which the land is the woman, and a child is born. And your nationality goes straight back through your father's lineage. So whatever your father was and his father was and so on and so forth, that's what nationality you're actually in. But a veil has been brought about over all the nations, and it's covered up most people's true nationality. And it's been replaced with things like color. So we have black people, we have white people. They call the Asians yellow. Try to call the Gadites, who are of the tribe of Israel, or the nation of Israel, they try to call them the red man. But the true red man are the Edomites, the people that call themselves white nowadays. And the true Israelites are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, in which we've been called black and brown. But the Lord is removing this veil, and things are becoming more and more clear. And so they're saying that this Pope just recently put in might trace his lineage back to a so-called black man, in which even that we're still not sure if he could be an Israelite, he could be a Jake, but he could also still be what you call a Ter, or coming from Edomite lineage. We won't know until the reapers come and sift through, or the angels come and sift the wheat from the tares. But he could quite possibly be a Jake. He's in some wicked, evil stuff, being the Pope of the Catholic Church, but nonetheless, he could be a Jake. And so, let's get into the scriptures. Actually, I want to go in the blue letter, but we're going to start out with Jeremiah 12 and verse 9. It says, "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour." The Lord's heritage are the Israelites. And the Israelites, being under the curses, have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, the diaspora. And with this, our forefathers have gone into the women of the other nations, making us not all look the same. We have different nations that go into how we look. So when the Lord comes back, there's going to be certain of us that might have more Asian features. There's going to be certain of us that might have more so-called white features. There's going to be certain of us that have more Hamite features or Ishmaelite features, but none of that matters as long as you go back through your father's lineage to an Israelite man, no matter how far back that goes. If you come from an Israelite through your father's side, you are an Israelite. But we are going to come back looking like all of the other nations, but primarily the Israelites are made up of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 5, and verse 9. And it says, "And they sung a new song." And these are the prophets and teachers of the elect, drawing out the rest of the elect, singing a new song, which is really an old song. It's just the truth of the scriptures in the right way in which it's supposed to be brought out. So it's not unbalanced like false Christianity, saying God loves everybody and everybody can be saved. It's the truth of the matter in which only the elect of Israel will be saved, and it's predestined. It says, "Saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof." Yahushua has opened this book for us. Remember in Daniel it said, "Seal up the book now until the times of the end, and stand in thy lot in the end days." Paraphrasing. But this book has been sealed, even though the fake Christians or the Christians with the false doctrine keep going on. Even though they've had Christianity out for centuries, they keep pretending like they have the truth. But this book has been sealed. And it wasn't until Abba Bivens started pushing this new song that the truth has come out. It says, "For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation." Yahushua put his life down for the truth to come out to the Israelites, for the Israelites to have a shot at redemption, to be drawn back unto the Father Yahweh. And I wanted to go into this word kindred here, because it's showing we're going to come out everywhere, because that's part of the curses, the diaspora. Out of every kindred, and that's what we're going to look into. And that's Strong's G 5443 Foulet. It says, "A tribe in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob." Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and Israel was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And through their father's lineage, a lot of different people that look a lot of different ways are going to actually be able to go back through their fathers to an Israelite, to a descendant of Jacob. So we're going to be coming out everywhere and looking like everyone. Even in the great deliverance from Babylon the Great, there's going to be Israelites that look like all of the other nations. All of them. There's going to be some that look like small hatters, our greatest enemy, which are actually the tribe of Amalek. We're going to have Israelites looking like them. We're going to have Israelites looking like Moabites and Hamites and Ishmaelites and Elamites. We've been scattered everywhere, and really the Spirit is what helps to decide who these people are. But we're not the angels, we're not the reapers to actually make this decision. But that's spoken of here in Matthew 13 with the wheat and the tares, or it says tares among wheat. And so let's read through this. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, and this is Yahushua speaking, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man that sowed good seed in his field. The field is the world. And that seed being the good seed, being the Israelites. It says, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. And that enemy being the Edomites. They are the enemy, the ultimate enemy. And they have sowed tares among the wheat, among the Israelites. During the Spanish conquistadors, they sowed seed among the Israelite women, and that seed came out looking browner than the conquistadors. They did it through slavery, with the slave masters having children with the slaves. And they're continually doing it. They've scattered their seed throughout the whole earth. So they've done this to the other nations as well. And so an Edomite, even though they are primarily so-called white people and the small hatters, there's Edomites among all of the nations. There's Edomites that look like Israelites. There's Edomites that look like Moabites and Ishmaelites and Hamites and all of the nations. They've sowed tares among all of them, or sowed their seed among all of them, all nations. And the Israelites on the other side have done the same thing. We've sowed our seed amongst the heathen nations. It says his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So, wheat and tares, it's hard to distinguish one from another. They look alike. The seed's not all, at least with people, the seed's not all the same. So you have dark-skinned people that actually trace their roots back to Edom, or dark-skinned people that trace their roots back to any of the other heathen nations, but the world would call them so-called black people, or call them Hispanics, or Native American, but they're actually Edomites via their father's roots. So it works both ways. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, dost not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? How these tares get in here? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. So he said, let them grow all together, because he didn't want to tear down the good seed that was actually there. He says, let both grow together until the harvest. The harvest being the end times, the day of judgment. And it says, and in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers are the angels, gather ye together first the tares. So the tares are of the wicked seed. These are Edomites that look like Israelites. It says, and bind them in bundles to burn them, because that is the ultimate destiny, the manifest destiny of the Edomites. They're going to get burnt up both here in Babylon the Great and around the world during World War III and when the nukes go off. But then after that, the elect of Israel are going to go gathering up the elite of Edom, which again, the Edomites are so-called white people and these small hatters. They're going to gather up the elite of them from out of their bunkers and wherever they're hiding and force them to breed back the rest of the Edomites. And then they will serve out their judgment here on the earth, which their judgment is 1,000 years of long, hard captivity. But once that's over, once the 1,000-year reign has come to an end, they're going to be gathered together and burnt up again in what's spoken of in Obadiah 1 and 18, where they will be done away with, all of their seed, no sons or nephews or anything left of them, no seed left for them to come and sow tares within. It says, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn, the wheat being the righteous seed. And the Lord's coming to gather his people, no matter what they look like. If they're of the elect and of the seed of Israel and have been predestined for salvation, they will receive that salvation no matter how they look. And so, not saying the Pope is of the elect at all, considering he's within that wicked church, but this is a great example of Israelites not always looking like the stereotypical Israelites. Could come looking like an Edomite, just like the Pope. But Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.